I will kick it off here to our Deputy Director of the Office of Professional Development here at CDT, Brenda Bridges-Cruz.
So welcome everyone, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy mornings to join us as we celebrate the graduation of the ISLA class of 2021. This is our fourth ISLA cohort and our second fully virtual ISLA cohort, which is definitely a sign of the times we're living in right now. So kudos to the graduates for your ability to embrace and adapt to this new direction in training and leadership. I'd like to acknowledge and thank all the managers, supervisors, and executives of the students who are here today. Thank you for your support and for investing in your employees' future by sending them to this academy. We know workloads are extremely busy and you supported them dedicating their time to this effort, and we hope that the benefit of their growth from this program will pay off for your department and the state workforce as a whole. I'd also like to give a shout out to any former ISLA graduates who are in attendance today showing their support. Thank you so much. And thank you to the program coaches and advisor Ken Kajima, Lloyd Indig, and Mike Marshall, who attended the sessions, provided support and guidance for the students, and helped answer many security questions along the way. You are absolutely a key component in making this program as successful as it is. So thank you so much for investing all of your time. Thank you to all the instructors and vendors who supported such great classes for our students. Couldn't have done this without you either. And I would be remiss if I didn't say a special thank you to the OPD staff who spent countless hours putting the curriculum together, scheduling classes, executing contracts, balancing the budget, and always being there to answer any programmatic questions from any of the students, the coaches, or anyone else that went to them. So, and of course, I'm talking about Natalie Hand and Tian Fong. So thank you guys so much. Okay, now let's talk about the students. I consistently heard great things about all of you. You were all very engaged, knowledgeable, shared your experiences with one another, and seemed to be truly vested in learning as much as you could about all things security. I heard some really interesting conversations the times that I popped into the room. So I was so happy to see you guys sharing all of your experiences and things that were going on, which is a big part of these academies, is to do that networking and learn and grow from one another. We were extremely fortunate to have had such a strong group of students within this academy from all areas of the private sector, including various state departments, someone from Orange County, and the cities of Belmont, Hayward, and Mountain View. So this cohort was as successful as it was due to having a good mix of students from a variety of disciplines and backgrounds. We had information security officers, of course, a security architect, IT managers, information security engineers, among many other roles. So everyone was able to bring forth the skills and abilities needed to be successful in this program. And the culmination of this academy is for the students to complete the training and preparation for the Certified Information Security Manager exam. The students took their study session seriously, and I heard a few have already taken and passed the exam. I believe the others will be taking in the near future. So we wish you all good luck and have every confidence that you will pass with flying colors. So congratulations to the ones that have already taken it and passed. And now to really get this party started today, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Amy Tong, our State Chief Information Officer and Director of the California Department of Technology. Good morning, Amy.
Morning, Brenda. I think that's my favorite introduction so far, that I'm the one that get the party started. It's very fitting on a Friday, and especially a Friday after, you're right, there's the surprise of the thunder and lightning. And I don't know if you call that rain. It was more of just drop of thing that we don't know what it was. And then it dried up very quickly. We didn't even see it on the ground. But nevertheless, it was a good change of scenery, and I think it's a great way to get this weekend going after this graduation today. I just want to, echo all of the appreciation and recognition for all of our students, as well as those of you who nominated them and supported them to go through this academy. I couldn't say, more on the importance of having this continual focus to be the state of California, that, cybersecurity is never something that should be an afterthought. You all know that I have been a strong advocate for cybersecurity ever since that I have joined this role. And it has proven out that despite that strong advocate, that we are still behind and there's much more to do. And then the pandemic only taught us how much more proactive and and even more, what do you call it, the higher level of investment and higher level of awareness needs to be inserted into our workforce, as well as those entities that works with the state of California. And so this graduation is very, very timely, as we are just heading into the October Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And I am very excited to remind you all, I hope you guys all already register for the Cybersecurity Summit that it's on October 5th. Vitaly, all of the AISOs that are on this call today, especially our 3 coaches, along with Brenda and the entire team of OPD, not only spent a lot of energy in putting together this ISLA training program, leadership development program, but they're also putting a lot of energy in developing that cybersecurity summit on October 5th. If you haven't attended one before, please make sure you register. It's one of the best summit, education summit in the state. So back to you all, right? And as I like to wrap up things, I heard this is the, Brenda, you say this is the 5th, correct? Fourth. And comparing to the Information Technology Leadership Academy, this is like probably baby compared to that, because those are in the decades. But you guys are coming fast and furious, because it's an area that is going to see a tremendous growth. So what I'm really asking you, the graduate of this academy, plus all of the former, continue to develop that network, continue to be the champion of raising awareness, providing education, and providing all of the necessary messaging or model the way, whatever you need to do to make sure that people understand cybersecurity is not an afterthought. More importantly, incorporate that cybersecurity thinking into business process decision making. What I mean by that is that you do need to put down that and wear the analytical hat. On one hand, cybersecurity is important, but cybersecurity for the sake of cybersecurity is not going to bring people along, or the support or the understanding that they need to invest in it. So instead, what you need to do is put cybersecurity into business outcome. Talk about what type of risk it will prevent from happening, bad things from happening. What type of risk you can remediate by thinking about cybersecurity. What type of benefits it could bring, even on a cost-effective aspect. Now, I'm not talking about we're going to scare people out of, Chicken Little, say, oh my God, if you don't do this, everything bad is going to happen. That also is going to turn people away from investing in cybersecurity, but more importantly, to put into a very common sense approach on what cybersecurity is about when it comes to an organization business decision. Is really about a risk mitigation at the right level, so that people understand, by investing $1, I would get this. By investing $2, I would get that. So that lay out the option so that your business decision makers understands, okay, what are the risks that maybe some are okay to accept, and what are the ones we absolutely cannot, and we have to make investment. I think that is the analytical skill and business mindset, and I call it an entrepreneurship mindset, of what we also need to bring in as our graduates going back to your workplace, as well as our former graduates of the ISLA Leadership Academy, to really helping your business partner, your program partner, your executive and manager and supervisor of the department to truly understand how security and cybersecurity fits into your day-to-day operation. So I know that many of you are already doing that, but knowing that you have this entire cohort and network of the cybersecurity advocates here to support that way of thinking and operating. And just because you graduate from the academy doesn't mean you need to be a stranger to all of us. So please keep in touch, continue to expand that network, and continue to influence and be a change agent on how truly cybersecurity prevention should be part of that business operation decision-making process. All right. I'm gonna turn it to our next speaker, and I know you have many more to come, and enjoy today. You've all earned it, and thank you so much for taking another step forward on protecting the state of California.
So now I'd like to introduce Vitaly Panich, our State Chief Information Security Officer. And unfortunately, he couldn't attend in person today, but has pre-recorded a video with a few words to the graduating class.
Good morning, everybody, and congratulations to the ISLA 2021. I'm Vitaly Panich, State Chief Information Security Officer. I hope everybody had some awesome takeaways from this academy. First and foremost, we are all charged with safeguarding not only our privacy and availability for our critical infrastructure, but also being mindful of reputation and transparency and ingraining the cybersecurity mindset into every individual we collaborate with, whether it be your program areas, senior leadership, to your users. The cyber terrain we deal with, which is extremely complex, not only because of the increased reliance on technology, but also because of the complexity of our organizational boundaries. The adversary, whether it be a nation-state adversary, a financially motivated attacker, has no boundaries. With that, the adversaries of today will not have any hesitation in choosing a target of the weakest link and collaborating on their offensive tactics. The bad guys have no rules. We need to one-up them with scale. We band together, not only in building our latest defensive tactics, but also in partnerships that we are building here today. We all need to support each other and work through one another by scaling your knowledge, your expertise, ideas, and strategies, as well as acknowledge gaps, as there will always be gaps that we can learn upon and build upon. You guys are the defenders of tomorrow and thought leaders in our community. You guys are the thought leaders by enabling each other, enabling your peers to be successful. And ultimately, this is how we win. The hard work is in front of us. There will be challenges, there will be breaches, there will be constraints, budget constraints. Regardless of those constraints, we need to unify our efforts, look for those opportunities that we could come together, scale, combine a unified defensive tactic that we could put up as a unified front that's consistent, that's resilient against the distributed nature of our adversary. So with that, there is a challenge upon us. This is not over today. I look forward to working with each and every one of you going forward. With that, I will turn over to Brenda. Thank you, Brenda.
And now I'd like to introduce Chief Childs, the Chief Information Officer at the California Highway Patrol. Good morning, Chris.
And first and foremost, I want to congratulate you on completing this course. And as the title of this course indicates, information security and leadership go hand in hand. Just as a reminder, you've heard it before, personal information is now more valuable than most things that we come in contact with. Even more, many believe it's more valuable than our entire economy put together. So it's a great responsibility that we all collectively share. And I had a great time presenting with the students, and this group of students was very interactive, and I really appreciated not only your interaction, but your feedback and your comments. I got those back from CDT, and it was very helpful as I prepare my remarks today. And as we talked about leadership during my segment, I'll just remind the students that leadership starts inward. I've been a Covey instructor for a long time, and if you're familiar with the 7 habits, it all starts with our inward commitment to being better people, to being better leaders, to being more humble and listening. Remember that self-awareness is something that we never truly enjoy in our lifetime, but it's something we can strive toward, and being aware of who we are and what we represent and the kind of people that we want to be really has a direct correlation to the kind of leaders you will be in our information security realm. My final comment today will be to remember that you all are each other's resource, and your facilitators, and specifically myself, can always be a resource to you. My contact information is pretty widely known. I'm childs@chp.ca.gov, and please don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions, or if you have questions about the way the CHP approaches information security, or if you need any help at all, please use us, your instructors, and each other as a resource. And finally, congratulations once again on behalf of the entire California Highway Patrol to all of the people that successfully completed this ISLA. So congratulations from me to you all. Now back to you.
So now I'd like to introduce David Lane, the Mission Support Branch Chief for the California Cybersecurity Integration Center, CalCIC, and the California Department of Technology. Good morning, David.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the CalCIC team, I would like to congratulate this year's ISLA cohorts on successfully graduating your academy. The sacrifices made by you and your organization have been painful and disruptive, but are sure to render tremendous long-term value. I would also like to thank Brenda and your team, team coaches, and all involved for making this academy successful. In 2019, I had the fortunate opportunity of attending ISLA 26, which was facilitated by Brenda and her team. ISLA is much like ISLA, with a slightly different focus, that being information technology leadership versus information security leadership. And the theme in 2019 for my cohort was emotional intelligence. This is where I learned how to better identify, understand, and interact with the various personality types within our community. I learned that how you interact with analytical introverts versus creative extroverts matters. And I'll touch more on that here in a moment. I've been with the state for a long time. So I've been serving the state of California for over 20 years in the fields of IT service management and information security. And I've concluded that information security boils down to a simple ratio. Information security is 25% technology and 75% motivation. So given this concept, to be successful in your current and future roles, you need to be good at sales and marketing. I know this is strange, and I hope they cover this in your Leadership Academy, at least how to interact with these folks. And I'm going to give you some tips. Okay, so use risk-based decision-making as a tool to motivate stakeholders. Use the skills covered in ISLA to develop your strategy. Examples include the NIST risk and security control frameworks, security best practices, and the California specific policy standards and compliance requirements that were covered in ISLA. Further strengthen your strategy by leveraging your peers for advice. Seek networking opportunities and stay engaged with your ISLA cohorts. When pitching your strategy, get buy-in from the stakeholders. Explain the why, whether it be for applying system patches or funding new positions. How you present the why or the sales pitch matters. Now back to the personality types. Try this approach. For your analytic introverts, send them spreadsheets with lots of details, lots of facts about your strategy. For the creative introverts, take them out to lunch, meet with them virtually if you have to, but get in front of them, explain your strategy, and make sure they understand it in a way that makes sense to them. Lastly, the motto, one team, one fight, is often used by Cal-OES, CDT, and Homeland Security leadership. I would like to extend the sentiment to you all. So please remember to report security incidents via CalCAESARs, as well as your normal escalation paths. And know that CalSIC and the CDT SOC are available for cybersecurity guidance and or assistance in times of need. And once again, thank you and congratulations.
Okay, and so now I would like to introduce John Cleveland, who is our Deputy State Chief Information Security Officer at CDT. Good morning, John.
Morning. Thank you, Brenda. It's an honor to be here to help celebrate ISLA Cohort 4 and the graduation of so many outstanding security leaders and future leaders. So I just got back late Tuesday night from our first real vacation in 6 years, meaning it was out of state, number one, and it was longer than a 3 or 4 day weekend. And so we traveled to northern Pennsylvania, where I'm from, upstate New York, where my wife is from, and New York City, where we have relatives, and mainly the Upper East Side of Manhattan. And so, yes, I do take credit for bringing back some rain for me from the East Coast. So in that vein, during our stay, the tail end of Hurricane Ida hit that area of the country pretty hard. We had widespread flooding. Some of the freeways were down for several hours, road closures, even loss of life in the subway system in New York. So I thought to myself, wow, what a powerful force. A storm that had come ashore in the Gulf Coast just days before, traveled 1,500 miles over land, still having enough energy to affect a significant amount of change on the lives of millions of the northern part of the East Coast. And I use the term change because even though the storm has negatives, it also brought opportunity to wash away some of the old junk, clean up some messes, and the opportunity to build back stronger than before. And so I started thinking, then how do these things actually get formed and started? Well, as many of you know, hurricanes usually start as much smaller events, such as windstorms, thunderstorms, and then form only under the perfect right conditions, namely feeding on warm ocean water and then being propelled by other winds and storms to set it on its path. So under these right conditions, we see the development of very large, powerful, well-organized storms capable of changing everything in their path. So it may sound funny, but in many ways, I see our ISLA graduates as those originating winds and storms that have taken the opportunity to absorb a tremendous amount of material and knowledge over the course of this academy, organize it, and formulate it into ideas that you'll take back to your organizations and hopefully affect tremendous change, building outstanding information security programs, implementing highly effective security controls in your environments, or developing and running world-class security operations centers. Now, I'm not suggesting you go back to your workplace like a hurricane and wreak havoc on everything, but I challenge you to emulate the hurricane's strength and ability to affect change to enhance the security landscape of California in a positive way. Leverage that warm ocean water, basically the knowledge you've gained from this academy. Leverage the helping winds, the network and relationships you've created here. And as Amy mentioned, use them to drive positive change in your organization. I mentioned this when the cohort started, that this field is probably the world's largest team sport, and there are no penalties for too many people on the field. So I can't stress the importance of the relationships you formed here. Reach out to each other, leverage each other's strengths, reach out to all of us, Vitaly, me, the greater OIS team, your coaches, and other security professionals around the state. We're all stronger together, so keep in touch with each other. Thank you to all the countless people that put in so much work to make this academy possible. Brenda, your team, the entire CDT staff, trainers, speakers, coaches, and congratulations to each and every one of the graduates. Back to you, Brenda.
Okay, now I'd like to introduce Crystal Johnson, who is the class elected ISLA 2021 student representative.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for having us all here today. This is a great honor. And I would really like to start this all off by just saying how truly grateful and thankful I am for this experience. Thankful for the time that we've all been given, the audience for taking the time for sharing in our celebration today. A huge gratitude and thanks to our ISLA sponsors, cohorts, coaches, vendors, instructors and partners, and cohorts old and new, for being amazing ambassadors of growth. I'm trying to coin this phrase to give you guys a new title. I really do feel that I have grown so much in this experience, and also want to be grateful for the department staff, our home staff that held down the fort and kept the lights on and allowed us to be here, to be focused, to be engaged, and still be successful in our missions at home. Most importantly, I would like to be grateful and give the blessings to God for giving me the opportunity to meet all of you. I will share with you, it's nothing short of a miracle that we were as brave as we were and shared so much in this cohort. I feel truly honored to have gotten to know each of you on a personal and a professional level. Definitely stepping outside of my comfort zone with you guys was easier because we were in it together. And it was much more than I expected in this training. And as I'm sure, as you guys can agree, the audience members didn't get to experience Darren's sage advice and wisdom, or Amy taking the initiative and teaching us to dance like everyone is watching. Paul and Aaron for being our tech gurus and just helping us through some of the technical challenges we all face. To JJ, Juan, and all you Weisenheimers in this group, thank you so much for being the levity that lifted us, all of our spirits up during this time. And thank you to the cities and the counties and the state departments that had the courage to join us here in this mission. I really like to send an individual thank you to all of the 24 cohorts that have contributed, some in their own quiet and reserved ways, but very strengthfully and mightily. It would not have been the same without each and every one of you. So that being said, I'd like to share with you a quote that has moved me throughout my life and my profession. It's a quote by Theodore Roosevelt. And it's a little lengthy, but I'm going to finish it with my message to you. So bear with me. It is not the critic who counts. It is not those who point out how the strong stumbles or where the doer of the deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to those who are actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without loss and shortcoming. But those who actually strive to do the deeds, who know great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends their time in a worthy cause, and who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and at worst, if they fail, at least fails daring greatly, so that their place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. So this is my message to us cohorts. So although the task of keeping our agencies and the privacy and the integrity and confidentiality of California state data seems overwhelming at times, let us remember that there is no burden too heavy if we all lift, and may we be patient with each other and considerate as we continue our growth together and as we encourage others around us to grow. May we be there to support each other if we happen to fail, and may we be together to celebrate our victories, because we take this journey together, one step at a time. And let us dare greatly together, for together we will be victorious. Thank you.
So I'd like to introduce our coaches and advisor, Mike Marshall, the AISO at the Environmental Protection Agency, Ken Kajima, the AISO at the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, and Lloyd Indig, the AISO at the California Health and Human Services Agency. So good morning, gentlemen.
I think I'll start off by saying a few words. Just wanted to say, first and foremost, congratulate each and every one of you on completing this academy. This was our second attempt at doing this virtually, and I hope we were able to bring this to you in a efficient manner, and I hope it improved over the last year and prior years. So this is a security in the state and the county and cities now, as they come into this academy. It's a very small community, and it's very important to stay in touch with your cohort, past cohorts, coaches, advisors. These relationships are likely some of the most important and beneficial going forward in your state and city and county careers. Set up, it would be beneficial if you set up a chat within and several of the past cohorts have done this. They've set up chats within their cohort. They continue to stay in touch. I know cohort 1 still stays in touch from what, 3 years ago. So they still bounce things off each other. So utilize these relationships and utilize the network that you've created, that's been created here, and continue this going forward. One of the sessions this year that I sat in on and really was interested in myself was the cyber response to the media. This is something that we don't all get a lot of exposure to, and it was very interesting. This was the first time this course was introduced to this academy, and I found it to be extremely beneficial. I hope each of you did as well. Instant response can be chaotic, and if not practiced with tabletop exercises and so forth, things can go south quickly. So I listened in on each of your phone calls with the fake press and the frantic callers from 911 dispatch, and it's pretty eye-opening to see how that comes across when you're put on the spot, and if not practice, how things will go south. But I will say that you guys did an amazing job on that, on each and every one of those that I actually heard. So good job on that. I've been involved in ISLA since the first cohort, which they tell me is the best cohort, but I'm sure this cohort has something to say about that, I'm sure. Each year we set out to improve this academy by training in some of the most important security topics, hard skills, but also the intangibles like soft skills. I believe personally that soft skills are the hardest to teach, but arguably the most important. It's great to understand how to configure a firewall or write a script to remove nefarious emails from a tenant. However, great leaders must understand why the nefarious email got through the protections, why a staff member clicked on it, and be able to concisely tell the CIO, director, or secretary why we had a breach and what we're going to do to mitigate the damage in lay terms. I can say from experience, this cohort has expanded their knowledge in both the tangibles and intangibles. And I believe they're primed for success back in their current roles, or maybe a new leadership role. Either way, I hope it's within the state, the city, or the counties. Finally, I'd like to thank the Office of Professional Development staff, Natalie Hand, Tian Fan, Michael Todd, and Brenda Bridges-Cruz. They put a lot of work into this academy behind the scenes and truly are responsible for great content that comes from it. Additionally, I'd like to thank both Lloyd Indig and Ken Kojima for carrying the coaching duties this year. Extremely instrumental in the success of this academy. Finally, Tally and John, thank you for sponsoring this academy each and every year and helping to make it what it is today. With that, I'll say once again, congratulations to you all. Thank you to ISLA cohort number 4, very well deserved. And we'll see you next year. Well, we'll see you before that, but ISLA-wise. Lloyd, I'll pass off to you.
Thanks, Mike. Good morning, everyone. And to our cohorts, congratulations. It's been an honor to be your coach this year. This is my second year in coaching, so thank you, Brenda, Natalie, Tian, Vitaly, John, and Amy for allowing me to be selected as a coach. It's truly an honor. One of our courses was this week on and during our course was on prioritization. This is one of the focuses that I plan to do going forward if I'm allowed to continue. It's a priority for me to see you all grow, learn, and be our future information security leaders. It's been an amazing experience. I couldn't have done it without you on the daily basis. Thank you, Ken and Mike, for covering when I had personal issues come up or breaches impacted work and I couldn't attend. This is a team effort. We're all here together. I was very honored that about 1/3 of the 24 cohorts are from the health and human services sector. But I've made all new friends. I have 24 new contacts, and I hope 24 new contacts have me to reach out to, whether it's from our OC partners dealing with infrastructure and water issues, to the cities, to the counties, to Crystal, to FTB, to all of you out there, to my buddy Juan down in Imperial Valley, who's going to take 8 hours, even though it says 9.53 hours to come up and visit. I'm proud of you all. Congratulations. And again, thank you. And last but not least, to my buddy, Ken Kojima, and I couldn't do this without you. So thanks, Ken.
Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you, Mike. Again, you guys were instrumental in making sure that this portion and this engagement of the program was successful. But hey, to you guys, cohort, congrats. You guys made it. For me, it was an honor to be selected as a coach for a second year. And obviously, I'm doing something right because they asked me to do it again. Hopefully, I get another opportunity to do this again. But we'll see, right? I think there are plenty of other security leaders here that can provide input, but I'm more than happy to come back. And so it's been a pleasure to work with such a high performing and an engaged group of individuals from so many different backgrounds and different organizations. And I think I'm lucky to have been able to experience the participation from the county and the city organizations as well. I think that is typically not what we've done in the past at the state level. So definitely good to see that type of perspective. But with that said, we talk about security being a journey, and you guys are well upon your way. ISLA is just that stepping stone to get to that next one. So taking a couple of the items that we talked about in the programs, the growth mindset, changing and shifting the security culture, understanding EQ versus IQ, and ultimately just, being prepared to facilitate change and helping to manage the leaderships to do that. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this experience and take what you've learned from the program and look for ways to immediately start making impacts to your home organizations and your cybersecurity programs. There are going to be opportunities there, so you just have to find the ways to kind of engage and connect to that. The other advice I'll give you guys is to Mike's point, and Lloyd maybe touched on it, is stay connected to each other, right? The security network and security community is relatively small, and so to be connected into that will keep you connected to the changing tides of security. Keep your eyes open for opportunities, and if you have any needs for help, the community is there to help you, right? So with that said, thank you to CDT leadership. Thank you to the ISLA program administrators, especially Natalie and Tien. Without you guys, I think the coaches and advisors would have a much harder time. To reiterate the thanks to the coaches, right? Mike and Lloyd and the advisors. And ultimately, thank you to the students. Without you guys and your participation, this program would not be successful. And so my parting words is that I hope, you know what? No, I'm going to change that. I expect people from this cohort to find the leadership vacuums that exist. I expect you guys to take the reins, and I expect you guys to be trailblazers in the cybersecurity landscape, literally trailblazing. Like, imagine that you're running and you see this flame coming behind you, right? In cybersecurity, I can visualize you guys doing that. So prove me right. I want to see you guys come back to me and say, hey, Ken, now I'm your boss, because that's going to happen. All right. Congratulations,
So now we are going to move to the presentation of the certificate. I will now turn it over to Natalie and Tien.
Thank you, Brenda. And here's Natalie to announce the ISLA 2021 graduates.
From the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, Amy Beckley. From the Department of Rehabilitation, Anthony Colisas. From the California State Controller's Office, Crystal Johnson. From Cal OES, Darren Bernstein. From the Department of Aging, David Wiseau. From Franchise Tax Board, Debbie Hobbs. From the Department of Managed Healthcare, Edward, aka Jason, Castillo. From the Department of Public Health, Emily Tran. Coming to us from the Air Resources Board, Aaron Powers. Frank Alejandre from the Department of Developmental Services. From the California Department of Technology, Jay Ja'araha. From the City of Belmont, John Jones. Juan Ramos from Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Matthew Mello from Department of Social Services. From the Department of Technology, Matthew Sweet. Michael McGibbon from Department of Healthcare Services. Nikia Galbraith, Department of Technology. Paul Galen, California Department of Resources, Recycling, and Recovery. From the California Lottery, Ray Garcia. From the Secretary of State, Yvonne Cedillo. From the Department of Child Support Services, Samuel Turner. Next up, from the City of Hayward, we have Sandy Wong. And coming to us from Orange County, Sang Paik. And last but not least, Steve Rodriguez from the City of Mountain View. And there you have it, folks, the ISLA class of 2021. Congratulations, everyone.
Yeah.